Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth the Curly Haired Country Gal, and it has been a minute since I made my last full video, and there is a reason for that. So I have really big news for you. This is gonna change everything here on the farm. Maybe our news is that we're gonna get another cat pretty soon. By the way, all of our current cats happen to be right here. This is Pixel, Dinkins, oh sweet Dinkins. A good girl. And right over there is our little bit shyer girl, Bella. There has been another cat that's been living under our house for some time. I'm trying to see if I can see it. He's a little scared of me. And so the kids have finally decided that they're willing to pay to get him neutered. So we're gonna have a new cat. Milo. Yeah, he's not coming out. He's a really pretty cat though. We're thinking he's Siamese, beautiful fur, these beautiful blue eyes. But that's not our big news. Maybe the news is that now I'm officially raising both Buff Orpington and Black Australorp chickens. These chickens are actually living in the big, massive chicken tractors that I made a video for sometime last year. So they've been working really well, except for the fact that the tires are a little too small, so they still get kind of stuck, especially if it's been wet at all. But that's not the news either. It's even bigger than that. Maybe our news is that between 4 different pen areas, we have just under 100 chickens, and we're now 100% self-sustainable as far as chicken goes, with both chicken meat and chicken stock every year. Here are the Buff Orpington and Black Australorp 2-month-old chicks. The 3-month-old chicks are with the adults, and there's some miscellaneous ones walking around. The 1-month-old chicks are still here in the stock tank, but they're gonna get moved pretty soon. My goal was to hatch out about a little over 100 chicks for ourselves, plus some to sell, so that I could raise out some layers to replace our current layers, and raise out a whole bunch of roosters to then butcher. But even that is not our big news. Maybe our big news is that in addition to chicks, this year I have some turkey eggs in the incubator. It's hard to see, but they're the large ones in there. By the way, one of my most popular videos is about the spiral breeding method, which I hope to finally do an update on in the next couple months. But that is also not the biggest news. So bright out here today. Now maybe my biggest news is that I made it through the winter with all 10 of my hives. Thank you, Lord. And I am well on my way to doubling that to 20 hives. Whew, I'm going uphill, getting a little winded. Now you can check out my short video that I made last month or 2 months ago, where you can see all the designs from last year's hives that had colonies in it that made it through the winter. But I'm gonna show you real quick the new ones. Some friends from our fellowship that we go to came over for a work day last month, and they helped to paint these hives and get the spots ready for them. So that was a huge help and blessing. The olive hive. It's a good thing I like you guys, because I'm about to go up this big giant hill to show you the hives. We call this the pear hill. Sorry, it's so bright, because there's a pear tree at the top of it. But along the path here is the fingerprint hive. The kids from our fellowship came, and everybody who wanted to was able to put thumbprints or fingerprints on to make a really cute little design. And right here on top of the pear hill is the beautiful peacock hive. And this on top is a swarm that I just brought home last night, that I'm going to get transferred in there today. But this is a really lovely spot on our property. From here you can see out down to our house. The barn is back behind those trees, forest behind. But now I get to go back down. And I don't know that I even mentioned this, but 2 years ago my brother helped me build 3 hives. Last year I built 6 by myself, and then, I'm sorry, that was 2 years ago. And then last year I built another 12 hives, 12 insulated hives, which are the ones that we're looking at right now. And then I was actually able to host a natural beekeeping workshop and have some extra supplies, so I ended up selling 2 of those hives. So it's a nice little hike to get all the way around to all my different hives. And if you're wondering why they're so spaced out, there's actually a reason for that. You can check out this video where I talk about recommendations for hive placements, and one of them is to space your hives out at least 100 feet. That way you minimize drift between the different colonies, so disease that's in one doesn't quickly spread to another. Back here next to the National Forest is the coffee hive. I am 0% a coffee drinker. I don't even like the smell of it. The smell's okay. My husband's not a coffee drinker either, but one of the young ladies from our fellowship, super sweet gal, she decided to paint that. So for all you coffee lovers out there, there you go. Okay, now the kids helped me paint this one. If you take a look at it, what do you think it's supposed to be? Put your guess in the comments. Or tell me if you got it right. But that's the galaxy hive. So we had fun. It's kind of like the splatter hive, which is up here, but we tried to make it kind of a galaxy theme. One to go. Up one more hill. This was also painted by some guys from our fellowship. I am just realizing the lid wasn't put on all the way. That must have been my fault. But this is the flower hive. So I'll have another video coming out in the next few weeks or next month or so detailing how I went from 10 colonies to almost 20 this year. It wasn't without some problems, but even that is not our biggest news. Maybe our biggest news is that on this ground where I'm standing, right behind our garage, I had a friend come out to work on leveling it so that we can start to get a shed out here so I can raise mealworms so I don't have to pay for chicken feed anymore and make a big step towards being way more self-sustainable and not reliant on the feed store. So that is really, really exciting, but still not our biggest news. Okay, you made it this far. Are you ready for our biggest news? We're gonna have a baby! So Jared and I are really excited to be welcoming baby number 5, Lord willing, in October. We plan to have another home birth. I finally got to meet our midwife. She's lovely. We had been talking about a year and a half ago about whether or not to have more kids, and at the time we kind of settled on not having more kids, largely out of fear, if we're being honest, because of the unknown, uncertainties. We liked the rhythm that our family was in, but in large part thanks to the fellowship where we've been attending, the Lord's really been increasing my faith in His provision and in His guidance, and in a love of motherhood and in a valuing of the importance of motherhood, and saying that there's really nothing more important that I can be doing. So we decided not to have kids, and we have one coming. So understandably, projects have slowed. I was really sick for most of the first trimester, but now I'm at week 14. The baby seems to be doing just fine right now. He or she is the size of a bagel bite, which is great. But if this has been a fun video to watch, go ahead and like it down below. And I look forward to giving you some more updates on bees and chickens over the year. Bye.